And how are decisions made, especially in your school? Do you have certain institutions for that, or how do they work?
Well, we have several institutions. We have the General Assembly, which makes broad decisions about the budget and includes the parents and students and staff.
They have the decision, for very large policy questions.
And we have the school meeting, which meets weekly and includes only students and staff, what we call the school community.
The school meeting has all of the day-to-day functioning of the school.
And makes laws and decisions about behavior, about internal things, not things that would concern the parents.
We don't want a situation in which the parents take over the school or start making decisions for us, because we believe that the people who are there in the day-to-day life of the school are the people that should make decisions, and not parents who aren't there. We just wouldn't think that was fair.
Why is it important to have a school meeting?
Well, it would be complete chaos if we didn't have the school meeting. We need authority to be responsible for all the most important decisions, or there wouldn't be decisions and we'd have a problem.
And what kind of decisions are you taking there?
Well, first of all, the laws, of course, and budget and the use of space. All those things come to the school meeting.
Is your school or a school where you have no rules?
No, definitely not. We've got a rule book with about 100 pages. So there is rules regarding mainly safety, respect for other people's property, and respect for other people for the school property. It's about the main issues.
Why do you have rules and laws?
Well, this is what separates us from free schools. Free schools allow the students to just be free and, beat each other up as long as, I don't know. But what makes us democratic is that we have these institutions to protect our freedom and to make laws that protect us from one another. Most of the laws don't restrict people for irrational reasons, like you have to learn math at least 1 hour a week or things like that. Most laws concern how you should behave so as not to harm another person's freedom and not to harm your own freedom. So there are laws against violence, laws against disruptive behavior, things like that. That they really make sense. They really help us. They wouldn't be there if they didn't make sense and didn't help.
I learned all the rules from the little kids. When I first came, I was like, hey, that's easy going here, but all the 5-year-olds, they came, hey, you can't do this, and you can't do that. It's pretty much fun, actually.
The laws are generally there to make everything better, safer. We have also, of course, there's the laws against violence or dangerous things, but there's also laws that are just to make a better feeling. There's a law that if somebody sits down, nobody else is allowed to take their seat for a certain amount of time. Things like that just make a better environment, a happier environment.
You can say everybody has the same vote, but we're going to vote that everybody has to do a certain thing all day. Well, no, that's not it. You have to say everybody has the same vote, and we have to be a little bit careful about what the role of government is. And so that no one makes decisions that adversely impact other people, or we don't set things up to take people's freedoms away unnecessarily.
It's not very restrictive, although we do have many rules. It's okay to live with them. Most of them are just common sense anyway. Well, don't put off your shoes or take off your shoes, and just things like that. If you don't like a rule, you can change it. I tried that a couple of times. I wasn't always successful, but just to have the power to change them, it's really good.
How can you change rules in the school?
Just go to the school meeting at Berwyn. We've got a big school meeting board, and there's a whiteboard marker, and you put up your proposals, say, regarding rule number so and so, proposed change, and on the next school meeting everyone's going to discuss it, and you're supposed to be there and defend yourself and your point, and if everyone sees your point, the rule might change or might not. But at least you had the opportunity or the possibility to hear other people's point of view on that rule, on that particular rule, and why it is there.
The school operates between Sunday and Thursday, and you can propose laws Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at the end of the school day. The secretaries take all the proposed laws or decisions that need to go up to the school meeting and make the agenda. And that's it. You can't just propose. And there's like inside a discussion about a law, if you want to make a little change, that's spontaneous. You can do that whenever you'd like during the discussion.
And there's some issues that have their own part in the school meeting where you can just propose something when you get to that section of the agenda. But for laws, it's very strict about proposing it through the appropriate paperwork at the right time.
Every law needs 2 readings. The first reading, it's discussed for maximum 15 minutes, and then you vote favor, all oppose. And then it comes to a second reading, and in the second reading you can make changes or propose ways to improve it.
How many people do usually participate in the school meeting? How many attended?
I'd say about 20 people, including 3 or 4 staff members.
Out of
every meeting. Out of we ended the year with 35 students. I'd say about half the school comes to the school meetings.
I started to participate in school meetings at a relatively young age, maybe 10 or so, which is probably a relatively young age. Most of the kids that age don't participate in school meetings unless there was something particular they cared about coming up on the agenda.
I'm the chairman of the school meeting in Jerusalem.
Okay, you said you have been a school meeting chairman?
Yes, I have.
What have you been doing there? What kind of work did this involve?
It didn't really involve much work, except you have to be to all of the meetings, and you have to be able to speak loudly, and I don't know.
Maybe he's asking what kind of job it is.
Well,
like what?
It's a job, like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't.
Of course, run the meetings themselves. And I'm also a kind of a person that people go to for advice about the laws, or if the judicial committee needs to ask a question, I'm usually the person they'll go to, as a person that has a better knowledge of the laws.